Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 3, chapter number 18, text number 12. Tvam padrathanam kitayutha padipo gatasvano anasastaya asu anuhaha samsthapya chasman pramrajashu swakanam ya swayam pratignyam nati pipartya sabhayaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. You are supposed to be the commander of many foot soldiers, and now you may take prompt steps to overthrow us. Give up all your foolish talk and wipe out the cares of your kith and kin by slaying us. One may be proud, yet he does not deserve a seat in an assembly if he fails to fulfill his promised word. Purport. A demon may be a great soldier and a commander of a large number of infantry, but in presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is powerless and is destined to die. The Lord therefore challenged the demon not to go away, but to fulfill his promised word to kill him. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So this chapter, the title is The Battle Between Lord Bor and Hiranyaksha. So in this particular verse, Lord is speaking to Hiranyaksha and saying that you're supposed to be commander of many foot soldiers, and you may now take prompt steps to overthrow us. In the previous verses, we know that how Hiranyaksha challenges the Lord and blasphemes him. The Lord tolerated his piercing ill words, but in order to reply him, he expressed his terrible anger. So he used many ill words against the Lord. He challenged the supremacy of the Lord. And now the Lord is mentioning, give up all your foolish talk. There's no point in just talking big talks. And wipe out the cares of your kith and kin. Cares of kith and kin, near and dear ones, the relatives, because the battle is about to ensue. So they are concerned what's going to happen. Just like Dhritarashtra was concerned. What will happen to his kith and kin? Wipe out the cares of your kith and kin by slaying us. How will the cares get wiped out? By slaying us. How Dhritarashtra also, when he was anxious what will happen to his sons. And his anxiety will get allayed or rather removed if his sons win the battle. So likewise your kith and kin, the cares can be wiped out if you slay us. One may be proud, yet he does not deserve a seat in an assembly if he fails to fulfill his promised words. Our constitutional position is that we are Amsha of the Lord. Being an Amsha of the Lord, whatever we have in our possession, gross body, subtle body, including the Atma, we, belongs to the Lord. The gross body is made of Panchabhuta, which is again energy of the Lord, the subtle body, and even the Atma, Mamaiv Amsho, Krishna says. So in that sense, when we become Krishna conscious or come to our constitutional position, there is no question of being proud. And on the other hand, one will recognize or realize that everything, including him, belongs to the Lord. And a natural outcome of that understanding would be, since the Lord is a proprietor of my body, my abilities, my skills, whatever I have belongs to the Lord, hence it has to be used in the service of the Lord. Now, this understanding gets covered by Maya, the illusory energy of the Lord. When the living entity desires to be the Lord, to challenge the Lord, to rebel against the Lord, this understanding what we have, that I belong to the Lord, all my abilities are coming from the Lord, gets covered, and to the extent that we even challenge the Lord. That's what is happening in case of Hiranyaksha. He is challenging the Lord, forgotten that whatever he has. So the Lord is saying, don't talk unnecessary, give up your foolish talk. Now the Lord is completely aware of the actual situation. He knows out of false ego he is puffed up. The Lord is all-knowing. So he's saying, give up your foolish talk and wipe out cares of this thing. You want to fight? You think that you are powerful? You can kill me? Go ahead, do it. And he says, one may be proud because of this ahankara. I heard in one place that everything we have with us is belonging to the Lord, except for one thing. This gross body, Panchabhuta, belongs to the Lord. Atma belongs to the Lord. It's Amsha of the Lord. There's one thing which does not belong to the Lord, which we have. What is that? Ahankara. That this is mine. Ahankara does not come from the Lord. Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara. That false ego does not come from the Lord. Manas, Buddhi also is coming from the Lord. So, that's why we are here in this material world, because we have that ahankara. Aham mameti. And the whole spiritual life, all spiritual processes are how to annihilate, wipe out that ahankara, purify that ahankara and revive our real ahankara, real ego. That is, I am servant of Krishna, I am Amsha of Krishna, and I should serve Krishna. And when that real ego gets awakened, then we are qualified, we are eligible to go back to the spiritual world and blissfully engage in the service of the Lord. This is the sum total of this whole creation. Arjuna, as we all know, he fought valiantly in the battle of Kurukshetra. Although the opponents were Karna, Bhishma, Dronacharya, great stalwarts, Maharathis, yet Arjuna won that battle. And he was blessed with different arms by different devatas. He was very powerful. He was, the pet, student of Dronacharya. He was very capable. So he won the battle. Although opponents were great warriors and soldiers and so many Maharathis, but still he won the battle. And then when the battle is over, they are reinstated back. The kingdom, Hastinapura, the Pandavas becomes the king. And then we know that how eventually Krishna also winds up his pastimes and leaves. Finally, Yudhishthira Maharaj tells Arjuna that you go to Dwaraka. Now that the Krishna has left, the queens will be all alone, unprotected. You can bring them to Hastinapura so that, always women, Prabhupada also says in the Vedic culture, should always be under the protection of men. So Arjuna was sent to Dwarka to bring back the queen so that they can be in Hastinapura, and since the Pandavas are ruling, they can be under their protection. So Arjuna goes to Dwarka to bring the queens, and on his way back, he was coming, the chariots were there and the queens were there and many queens. So whole big caravan kind of a thing. And on the way, he was attacked by some cowardsmen, Gwalas. And they were not Maharathis, they were not having some weapons, they were having some sticks in their hands. And weaklings, skinny. Seeing them compared to the soldiers in the battlefield who were armed, who were trained, Akshaunis, so to say, of soldiers with elephants, with all kinds of horses, well trained, with all kinds of arms and ammunitions. Compared to that, they were just, ignoble cowardsmen, weaklings, with sticks in their hand. And Arjuna tried to fight against them fiercely so that he can protect the queens because they were attacked. And Arjuna could not protect the queens. He got defeated. Then Arjuna, this is in the Bhagavatam, he makes this wonderful statement. How a devotee can also sometime may get puffed up, may forget his constitutional position, because Maya is very powerful. But then very soon the devotee realizes, just like Prabhupada gives an example, marginal energy, the shore of an ocean, sometimes it is underwater, sometimes it is, when the waves recede, then there is no water. So likewise, we also get covered by Maya, our consciousness, and then we associate with devotees, we hear Bhagavatam, we read Prabhupada books, again the Maya recedes, the covering, so to say, recedes. So Arjuna says, Tadvai Dhanus. Now you see, Arjuna is comparing, there are many similarities between what was the situation in the battle of Kurukshetra and what was the situation when this cowardsmen attacked him. There are many similarities. Tadvai Dhanus. The similarities, the Dhanush is the same. Dhanush means bow and arrow. And it's not an ordinary Dhanush gifted by some Devata to Arjuna. Tadvai Dhanush. The Dhanush is same. The same Dhanush which Arjuna used to kill Maharathis, big soldiers and Bhishma, Drona, all this kind of people. Same Dhanush. Sa Ishavaha. The horses were not ordinary horses. The same horses what were there in the battle of Kurukshetra were there with Arjuna now. Sa Ishavaha. Saratho. The same chariot driven by the same horses. Saratho. The Ratha is also the same. The horses driving the chariot is also the same. Sahayaste, and same Arjuna who is holding the bow. Arjuna is also same. Bow is the same, chariot is the same, horses are the same, Arjuna is same. Sahayaste. Soham Rathi. The one who is Rathi is referring to himself. Nripatayo yata anamanti. And then Arjuna says, Sarvakshanena, in a moment, tad abhud asad ishariktam. But there is one difference. That same Arjuna who could kill big kings, Nripa means kings, could destroy them, could kill them, could vanquish them, could defeat them. Same Arjuna driven by the same chariot, same horses, same Gandiva bow. Ishariktam, but there is one difference. In the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna was there with Arjuna. And here in this particular situation, Ishariktam, Krishna is not there. So then Arjuna says, because of absence of Krishna, rest everything is same. Because of absence of Krishna, Bhasman Hutam, just like on ashes you pour ghee, it does not inflame, fire doesn't come out. No use. So same Arjuna, same Gandiva Bhav, same chariot driven by same horses, minus Krishna is like pouring ghee on the ashes, there is no use, there is no fire coming out. Bhasman Hutam Kuhakaradham, just like seed you put in a barren land, no use. Seed may be very good, barren land, it doesn't sprout. Ivoktam Ushyam, just like magic wand, you can use the magic wand to show a magic that money comes out, but no use. Magic wand doesn't bring out money, it's just a magic. Temporarily it appears to be like that. No money, no actual money comes out. So likewise Arjuna is saying, in the absence of Krishna, all my powers, all my fame, all my abilities, because of which I could this thing, in a moment's notice, Shanena, all became null and void. So as devotees also, we should always remember, Krishna consciousness means that sometimes we try to be humble. We sometimes are told, don't be proud. Sometimes we are told, don't get puffed up. Being puffed up is a natural outcome when our pure consciousness is covered by Maya. It's a byproduct, or rather it's an outcome of. In other words, somebody who is not Krishna conscious cannot be genuinely humble. The reverse, if somebody is Krishna conscious, he doesn't have to artificially impose, no, I should be humble. A natural outcome would be humility. Whatever I have, whatever strength I have, whatever abilities what I have, whatever intelligence I have, whatever speaking power I have, whatever singing power I have, it's all coming from Krishna. It belongs to Krishna. I am just a Kshetragna, just a knower of the field of activities. All credit goes to the Lord. It belongs to Him. Just like Arjuna, because he is a devotee of the Lord, moment he got defeated, he realized, he is not puffed up that, no, because I am great, therefore I could defeat so many great people in the battle of Kurukshetra. He realizes it was Krishna was there, because of him I won. Now that Krishna is not there, it's all useless. All that power, skills, abilities, Gandiva Bhav, chariot, horses, everything null and void. So here we see Arjuna, and in contrast we see Hiranyaksha. Both are amshas of the Lord. One is puffed up, challenging the Lord, wanting to fight against Him. And Arjuna is, because he is Krishna conscious, because he is a devotee of the Lord, realizes his position and he is saying, without you, no value. One time there was a young man, he got an admission in a very prestigious institute, the Liu Pasteur Institute. So, this is in Paris. I'm sure all of you would have heard about pasteurization of milk. So, this person is credited with, so to say, the invention of this pasteurization process. So, this person got an admission. It is like, very prestigious, like Harvard, MIT and all those things. So he got an admission in there and he was so excited. Some lakhs and lakhs of students apply for it and some selected few get admission. So he was one among them and he was doing PhD. He got admission for doing postdoctoral. So he was very happy, very excited, and he reached Paris. And in Paris, like here we have metro, there also they have like a metro, local trains within the city. So he boarded the train and he was few stations ahead of him. he had to get down and then from there take a cab to the institute. And since he was young, very ambitious, he had a goal to, make it, and he has finally done it. Naturally, some element of confidence was exuding him, bordering towards pride. He was sitting in the train started moving, and then suddenly he sees an old man next to him in the seat, just with eyes, half closed, chanting on the rosary. And softly murmuring, he was a Christian, and Christians also use the rosary beads and, Hail Mary, so he was very softly chanting. So this young man looks at him, this old man, and naturally a feeling of thing comes, useless fellow, wasting time. Like many times people may feel when devotees, they see, chanting and all this thing, wasting time. And here I am, young man, full of energy, full of life, full of achievement. Now I'm going to do PhD, and then after that I'm going to pass out, I'm going to do research and make a difference in the world. And see this poor fellow, not wasting time, simply. So he asked him, what are you up to? Very sarcastically, what are you up to? She said, I am chanting Hail Mary. So the conversation ensued. The old man also became inquisitive. Where are you heading? Where are you going? So he said, I have got admission in Louis Pasteur Institute. I'm going there. So the old man, some more conversation happened and said, God bless you. Wish you all the very best. The train stopped. They exchanged, the old man gave his card and the old man got down the station. And this young man again continued, and in his mind it was their useless fellows. And as the train started, he took the card from his pocket and saw the card, and on the card it was written Louis Pasteur. The person, the scientist whose institute was this, was the person who was chanting on the rosary beads. So, when we are half-baked, we naturally feel that we are on top of the world, we are proud. More and more we become knowledgeable, the more and more we become humble. In fact, it's said that scientists like Newton, they're quite humble. Newton was once asked, when he was in the last days of his life, so somebody approached Newton and said, I'm sure when you take your last breath, you will die, you will be leaving this body with a lot of satisfaction, with a sense of accomplishment that you have done it. So many accomplishments to your credit, the world will remember you for your accomplishment. You will die as a proud man. So Newton said, what have I done? What have I accomplished? What have I fathomed? What have I discovered? I am like a small boy standing on the shore of a mighty ocean, and the whole ocean lies in front of me, completely unexplored. Imagine, big ocean, and a child is standing on the ocean. He says, I am like a child standing on the shore of a mighty big ocean, and the whole ocean lies in front of me, completely unexplored. So it is because of false ego, because of ahankara, because of agyan, ignorance, we forget our constitutional position and we become puffed up, we become proud. And we also as conditioned souls are no exception. We are not pure devotees. Devotees like Prabhupada, they're completely Krishna conscious. Pride cannot touch them. Whereas we all are fallible. We all get puffed up. Somebody praises us. Artificially we say, no, it's okay. Deep within, great. You're a big collector, yes. So, it's a journey. This purification also cannot happen overnight. Slowly, as we become Krishna conscious, example is given when the sun rises, all the darkness slowly, gradually dissipates. As the sun of Krishna consciousness will rise, genuine Krishna consciousness, more and more we realize our insignificant position as Amsha of the Lord, the more and more all the ahankara, all the darkness which is there covering our consciousness will get dissipated. So here it is said, the Lord therefore challenged the demon not to go away, but to fulfill his promised word and kill him. One may be proud, yet he does not deserve a seat in an assembly if he fails to fulfill his promise. One time there was a king, and he had a minister. So invariably the king was puffed up. Power corrupts, they say. And the minister relatively was quite God-fearing, was always believing in God, believing in destiny. Whatever is happening is as per the will of the Lord, sanction of the Lord. It's for our good. So he was having that belief. And invariably when the king and the minister would have a conversation, the king would mock at the minister. What are you talking about? Everything is happening for good. God is all good. Whatever is destined will happen in our life. So he would make fun of his minister. But the minister, because he was conscious of the Lord, he would always maintain his stand. Yes, God is all good. Whatever is happening is for our good. Just like Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvaloka Mahesham Suhridam Sarvabhutana. I am the well-wisher of all living entities. So this minister also would emphatically say, yes, whatever God is doing for our good. So one day, the king was cutting an apple. And unfortunately, because maybe his attention was somewhere else, while cutting the apple, he cut his finger. And it got badly cut. Blood started oozing out. And the minister was there. He says, what has happened? See this. And now I know, so you will say that everything happens for good. Whatever God is doing for good. What is good in this? My finger has got cut. So the minister says, the Lord has a higher plan. Everything happens for good. So the king got wild. You nonsense. My finger has got cut. God has a higher plan. He took that, ordered his minister, put him behind the bars. So he was imprisoned. So the king went out on the forest for hunting, and he somehow lost his way. And he was captured by some tribals, aborigines, and they took captive. They, bound him and took him. And finally he was presented, the whole village, the village chief was there, and there was some puja of some Kali was happening there. And the chief of the village, he was very happy when all his so-called soldiers brought king tied, because they wanted to do Narabali, offer a human being in sacrifice to goddess. So he was happy, so nice, goddess will be very pleased. Today it's not an ordinary man whom we are going to sacrifice, it's going to be a king, because he was in royal robes. And so they untied him and they brought him close to the Kali, and about to kill him, suddenly the chief said, wait. So they all got, what happened? Says, no, we cannot offer him. So they were curious, why? He says, see, his finger is cut. The goddess will not be pleased if we offer somebody who is not complete. He is incomplete, finger is not there. So what to do? Okay, useless fellow, go. They relieved him. So the king comes back to the kingdom and, he is now recollecting the words of the minister. Whatever happens, God has a higher plan. If his finger was not there, if finger was there, today he would have been chopped off. So now, having realized his minister's word, he felt sorry that what he has done to the minister, and he, says, okay, release him. So the minister comes, says, now I understand what you said. God has a higher plan. Even my finger getting cut, there was a higher plan of the Lord. By the way, do you think that I imprisoned you, that was also a higher plan of the Lord? That is also for good, for your good? He says, yes. He says, how? He said, had you not imprisoned me, I would have invariably accompanied you to the forest. And having realized that your finger is not there, I would have been Narabali. So God is great. Everything which is happening is for our good. So when we are devotees of the Lord, we are naturally conscious of the Lord, His protection, our dependence on Him. Whatever the Lord takes us through, we take it as a blessing. Sometimes we may be able to understand, sometimes we may not be able to understand. A devotee that way never rebels. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Maro bhi, rakho bhi, jo ichho tumaro. This consciousness naturally stems from a pure Krishna consciousness understanding. Whatever is happening, if we are so long surrendered to the Lord, trying to please our Lord, trying to serve Him, trying to follow this process which will purify us, whatever ups and downs we may go through, even as devotees' life, having faith that Krishna has a higher plan. We may encounter some difficulties, some challenges, somebody, not treating us well. We are here for purification. We are not here for a cozy, comfortable life. Everyone is good, everything is good. In one lecture we heard that if we become super peaceful, we all want to be peaceful, no problems. So that we can peacefully practice Krishna. If we become super peaceful, first thing what we'll do is we'll forget Krishna. So that way, let's take whatever is unfolding in our lives in stride, be grateful to Krishna, Prabhupada for Divya Gyan, the knowledge what they have given us, and pursue this process, practice this process very sincerely. We'll stop here. Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada.